You are now listening to The Ace. That stands for Astra and Cynthia Experience. So you're asking yourself, what kind of experience are you going to get? Well, buckle up, because this ride that you're about to encounter will... I'll let you see where it goes. Here they are now, Astra and Cynthia, The Ace.
So coming up on today's show, we're going to give you our 5 news bites of the week. Also, our topic of the day on what may cause a higher divorce rate that you may or may not have done or are currently doing, plus a Halloween bonus segment later on. But first, how's about we cheers before we get into our weekly recap?
Cheers.
And welcome to the show. As I have to drink.
Welcome to another week, episode 5 of The Ace.
Yeah. So first off, weekly recap. Anything new and interesting and exciting that has happened to you?
This weekend was actually pretty low key. I was actually thinking about new business ideas, but most important, so crypto. I've been investing in it. It's been about a year. I'm pretty new. I guess a year is pretty new, but you know, I went with ones that were high, then low. I'm not too familiarized. So if someone can help me on exactly how to pick the right ones, I don't know if there's a real answer or a method to the madness, but you know, I would like to be a millionaire.
Oh, you and me
sooner
both.
Than later. Sooner than later.
You and me both, girlfriend. I know. Slide into our DMs. Give us some advice. I've been doing the crypto for a couple of years now, and I'm still not a millionaire or even like a 5-figure heir. I'm just giving out my financials right here. Gosh.
But what is actually really important is make sure you always have more than one stream. So the more streams, the better.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of needing money, I just got Botox this week, my pre-birthday Botox, which I am loving the results so far. Brows are raising, eyes are popping. Gotta look good for the birthday. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. No need to remind me. But everybody's like, so what are you doing for your birthday? What do you want for your birthday? I'm gonna do and say what I did last year. Venmo me at Astra on the air. This way I can just buy myself whatever it is that I want so that you don't waste your money on something that I may or may not like or on food. Like people are always like, let's go out to dinner. Even you, let's go out to dinner. I'm like, just give me the money that you're gonna spend so I could just go buy something. It lasts longer. Not going to poop it out 24 hours later.
You can Venmo me too.
Wait, what's your Venmo?
To throw her party.
But yeah, let them know what your Venmo is.
Oh my God, what is it? Cynthia 521, I think. Oh my God.
Otherwise somebody else is going to be getting that money.
Wait, now I got to see this. Sorry, guys. Yes, I was right. Cynthia, Cynthya 521. I was right.
All right. Well, now that we got that out of the way, let's get this show on the road and kick into our news bites. So with the latest update in the Brian Laundrie case, a DNA analysis has not been performed yet on the remains that were found that were identified as him. Now, they've been sent to an anthropologist for further review. The autopsy, which is crazy, also came out inconclusive, which is going to leave us with obviously a ton of questions. Is he in fact dead? Did the parents plant the stuff that was found that day? And why did they decide to cancel the funeral plans? I mean, I have even way more questions than that. But what are your thoughts on this?
I think he's definitely alive. I think he might have fled the country. I think his parents are involved.
1000%.
Especially canceling the funeral. Come on. Any parent is going to have some sort of, unless it's just that they're scared of being attacked, you know? So I don't know, but something smells fishy.
Yeah.
A lot of things aren't adding up.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even the fact that they were saying that they wanted all of the remains cremated and that they were going to just keep the ashes. I don't know. Something's not right, because how are you finding like random teeth and this and that, but you're not finding a body? And then they're trying to say, oh, because it was underwater, this and that. That's fine. But you know what else is also weird and fishy? They found a notebook, but if the notebook was underwater, how are they able to read what's in the notebook? It would have been disintegrated.
Yeah, a lot of things. And they just said they just found the water, Gabby's water bottle. Like what? It just happened to, they just found it like weeks later.
Yeah.
You know
and meanwhile, yes, the FBI has been combing every corner of that land. And now things are just showing up. Very fishy. I've been seeing a lot of crazy TikToks about it too, from the footage of it. And then of course, people, kind of making fun of it. This one guy did this funny TikTok. I have to tell you, he's like creeping in like the woods and he's looking around and he had a skeleton with him and some sneakers. So he throws them down on the ground and he goes, guys, come here, found something, like as if he's acting like the dad.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Because it's funny. How did the parents go in and like a half hour later, oh, look, here's his stuff. Something's not right.
Something's not right, but hopefully we get down to the end of it soon, that's just for Gabby's, I feel like for her family and stuff.
Yeah. I need her to like fully rest in peace. Poor thing.
Exactly.
On to brighter news. Teresa Guidice from the Real Housewives of New Jersey and her boyfriend Luis, or should I say fiance, are now officially engaged.
I know. Congratulations, Teresa.
Yep. He popped the question while they're vacationing in Greece, which, oh my gosh, I would love to be proposed to in Greece. I just want to go to Greece. Doesn't everybody?
I
just want to go to Greece with or without a ring. Just take me to paradise. I will say though, this was definitely an over the top proposal. It was on a beach with a huge marry me sign. They had sparklers, candles, roses, a violinist. And then of course it ended with a fireworks display. They're saying that she was totally surprised about everything. And not to mention, they just celebrated their 1 year anniversary in July. So congratulations, Teresa.
So I actually feel like her parents, which are both passed, rest in peace, that they actually, Teresa, at the end of the day, people can talk all this smack. She was, when she first started in the season, but that woman went through a lot, as later on in the season, she did 11 months before Joe did, while having 4 daughters.
Yep.
And, at the end of the day, she's a good woman. She's a good family woman. She was a good wife. Tony finds out he was cheating on her. Then, that whole mess, and then he gets deported. So I feel like Louis was a godsend from her parents.
I agree.
And now she's happy. She's really happy. And her whole family's super happy for her. So obviously he must be a good guy.
I know. And it's so funny. Like I'm seeing a lot of couples that are extremely happy lately, which is helping, to, help us believe in love, that it is actually true and it's real and it exists, because I know that we're both hopeless romantics, but you hear all these horror stories, people who are even married that are like, oh, don't ever do it. People that get divorced, people that are, all of this. And like, just to see people in love like this, it just, I don't know, it just gives me hope.
Gives you hope, and it gives you that second chances do exist. So don't be scared to fall in love again.
And speaking of, obviously last week we talked about Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker and their engagement, and everyone is speculating that she could possibly be pregnant. I know I mentioned that as well, but it does look like we might be hearing a pregnancy announcement real soon. She did freeze her eggs a couple of years ago, like I did. And a family friend is saying that they really do want to have a baby together. And it's just a matter of time, when and how. And Kourtney would like, of course, a natural birth, because we know how she's into her holistic lifestyle. As you know, Travis has 2 older kids in high school. Kourtney and Scott have their 3 kids in elementary school. And I can honestly see this happening. I mean, only thing I can definitely see happening after that is Scott going over the edge as well.
At first I was like, oh, she's definitely done with kids. She has 3, he has 2 older ones. And I was like, yeah, they'll probably just enjoy their lives now, because they have their kids. But really, when you're really, really in love with someone and adore someone, you want a child brings more. When you're actually truly happy, a child brings more happiness.
And not just that, it's because when you have a child with someone that you are in love with and you create that love child, that right there is like the end all be all.
And then that's when I think that age really doesn't have a part, because they're, well, I don't know which one's older, but like, say if I met someone in their 40s, 50s, 60s, I bet you if I was really in love and they say my guy had previous kids, he probably would have a child because he loves me. Like and to have something together, the past is the past. And yes, their kids are going to always be their kids. But if it's a new family now, it's a new connection, and only wish them the best. And I think they should. I think they really do love each other, and having a little mini me would be kind of pretty awesome, right?
I agree. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I mean, listen, you know how I feel about dating someone who has kids. I might have to make that bend sooner or later.
I know. I've been trying to make you change your mind.
Well, that's because, you know what, when you do find someone that you truly do care about, yeah, you will make that bend if it allows, you know?
I agree.
It's like, I don't know. I guess I believe in that modern family situation, you know? Yeah. The person you're with could have kids from the past, and that was their life before. And not that it's ever going away, but now they have a new life to start a new family. And then everyone kind of comes together. And, you know, I would actually be happy in a way with something like that. I don't want to, my reasoning why I don't want to date someone who has kids is because I don't want the drama involved with it. But I guess if everybody's an adult about it and you're all like, you know, you can handle it well, then I guess maybe it is okay. I don't know. Still work with me on that one. You still got to work with me on that.
And listen, and later on, we do have a topic that will bring back something like this. So just saying.
Yeah, stick around for that. We're not done with our news bites yet, but this one takes the cake. A woman wanted to test her date's generosity before committing to a relationship, but her plan backfired. She invited 23 family members to join her on a blind date just to see if this guy would pay the bill. The bill came out to $3,100. And of course he bounced. Rightfully so. First and foremost, I have to just say, who in their right mind is going to bring 23 family members out on a blind date to test somebody? Okay,
that's a little off the charts. It doesn't make sense. But do I bring a friend? I've brought Asher to my dates.
Yeah. And,
it's one person.
A +1 is okay. And especially if it's a first blind date, you know, you want to make sure that, you know, your friend is safe. Of course, I'm going to go with you if you ask me to go. I'm not going to be like, no, you go. Or like we like to do, we keep our locations. We share each other's location just to make sure the person's safe. You got to do that. But
more for security, you know, there's just too much that goes on.
23 people?
Yeah, that's just.
Did they rent a bus? How did you transport 23 people to a freaking restaurant? But I will say, for 23 people at a $3,100 bill, that's actually not too bad.
That's not too bad. I know. Right.
But of course,
they definitely weren't ordering caviar.
That's for sure. They definitely didn't have filet mignon and lobster tails. Oh. They probably had burgers.
I know. And the Caesar salad.
Either way, though, yeah, I hope that guy ran for the hills and doesn't look back. And I'm sorry, but any girl that thinks that they're going to even try to get one over on a guy, that is just not the way to do it.
But, and listen, I do not like cheap guys. So, but again, that's a little ridiculous, but I can, if a guy made me like pay the bill for the first time, I'm very picky with that too, but I will never end up with a cheap guy. I can't, because I'm not cheap. I'm very giving. So I can never date someone that's not the same way, at least me or more.
Same. I'm not going to listen. I don't want a cheap guy, but I also will pay it forward as well to him. You know, if he's taking me out, I'm going to take him out. If he's going to treat me to things, I'm going to treat him to things. I'm not a taker. I'm also a giver. Exactly. But I'm not going to be taking advantage of either. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Unbelievable. And now our fifth story, Tori Spelling. We all know she wants a divorce from Dean McDermott, who she's been married to since 2006, but she feels trapped in this loveless marriage, and she's only staying for the kids, which they have 5 of. And I feel like this is what I've heard time and time again, as have you, man not wanting to get a divorce because I have to stay for the kids. But this is now a woman saying, I have to stay for the kids. Sources are saying that Tori recently learned that Dean could sue her for child support if they split. And that kind of put her over the edge when she found out, because as you know, money has always been an issue in that marriage and in every marriage. Of course. So I know we were talking about this. This is why before getting married and jumping into things, maybe you should if I could count all the times a man, mostly men, but women too, can say, I'm not happy in my marriage. I'm not happy, but I can't leave, whether if it's for money, because of the kids are too young.
it's just excuse after excuse. But when is it really an excuse?
Right.
You know, like,
it's not a matter of I can't, it's a matter of I don't want to.
Yes, because you don't have a gun to your head. Every person has a choice to make a choice in their lives and whatever decisions come about.
And I see it like this too. When you have kids, your kids aren't stupid unless they're babies and they're, like newborn 1-2 years old and they don't know.
Well, it's probably better that way so the kids don't see any of it.
Right. But when they're, listen, the older they get, when they're, I would say probably even after the age of 5 and up, let's just put it there. 5 and up, kids are not dumb. Kids see what's going on. And especially kids that go to their friends' houses and see the way that their parents are interacting with one another. If you're not showing love and companionship and emotion within your own household in front of your kids, that's how they're growing up. And the way I see it is if you're staying in a loveless marriage because you don't want to separate because of the kids, you're actually doing them an injustice because they're seeing everything. They may not be able to verbalize it to you, but now they're growing up in a household that they don't really know what love is. Wouldn't you rather have your kids seeing you happy and in love with someone that makes you happy? They'll still know who mom and dad are. They'll still have time with mom and dad.
And I always say, and someone once told me, and this was an actual person that went through this, and they said, and for someone, I can't speak because I don't have kids, but this person did. And he said, at the end of the day, my kid is going to, I'm still the father. They're going to love me no matter what. Like, I'm making the decision because, God gave me one life and I deserve to be happy. No matter, at the end of the day, your kid's going to love the mom, going to love the father. That's never going to change. That's an unconditional love. It's worse when they see is the no love in your everyday, in the household. That's what's going to hurt you more. And people do not realize that. And unfortunately, people wait years, but then you waste years of your life. And for what?
And then you're never going to get that back. All you're going to do is turn around when your kids are older and then say to yourself, man, I wish I would have done this 10, 15, 20 years ago. But because you wanted to wait for them to become older, because that's usually the reason too. I want to wait for them to be older so they're more independent. That's fine. But now you're wasting away your own years of love and happiness, because by the time you're 10, 15, 20 years older, no offense, who's going to want you? You might be lucky, but somebody's going to want you in your younger heyday than they are in your older, take care of me stage.
Of course. No, of course. So that's definitely, a thing that goes on in the real life of this world. Happens more than we think it does, believe me.
And of course, now this is going to lead into our topic of the day. So apparently people who live together before getting engaged or married, they have a higher divorce rate. So what are your thoughts on living with someone before you get engaged or married?
So personally, I've never actually, and this is where me and you differentiate, I've never lived with a boyfriend. Yes. Have I slept over 7 days a week? Yes. Every day for a year, 2 years, but I come home to my apartment, or at the time, my parents' house. But you've lived with boyfriends.
And I was engaged.
So what do I think to the actual question? I think maybe now that I'm a little older, and I think I would possibly, maybe do the live-in before, but you're saying that it's more of a higher
divorce rate, which
I
personally beg
like a hair in my mouth. I'm like trying to take it out.
I beg to differ on that. And that's one thing that my belief was always, I would prefer to live with the person before getting engaged or married, because I want to know their habits. I want to know how they are 24/7. Yes, I know when you live with someone, you're not with them physically 24/7, unless you got stuck in quarantine with them. But that was, a very rare case. For the most part, here's the thing. I want to see how they react during tough times. Let's say, we have bills to pay. Maybe they didn't, make ends meet that week, or maybe somebody lost a job. How do you work under pressure? What about when you're going through something? Listen, we're not all pieces of happiness and bubbly joy all the time. If we're going through something, how does your partner act with you when you need them? Are they there for you, or do they create drama and issues and fights? I don't want a surprise. I don't want to walk down the aisle, make make a vow to somebody that I'm going to love them till death do us part. And then within a week or two, we're at each other's throats and can't deal. I'd rather know what I'm getting into. So for me, I'd rather live with this person, see their habits, make sure they're somewhat clean. I don't want to be the maid, but I also don't want somebody that puts on a persona, when they're coming over to my apartment and visiting, as opposed to actually living.
Yeah, I mean, as far as me, I think now I would probably want to live with someone before, or at least in some way, just to, like you said, just know their quirks, their little things that you might not like. Can you deal with it? Can you not deal with it? Like you said, if bills come and, you need that hand up, that hand to like help you out. Let's see if he really picks up the slack, just little things that you might have to encounter in your future life, like when you're with someone, when you're married, so it's a lot of questions. So yeah, I think I would want to now probably live with someone first, where back in my 20s, I didn't. I actually thought I would rather not live with them. And then when I get married, what is, I was taught the old school way. So it was embedded in my head, but I kind of outgrew that part. So I would definitely want to experience them first.
Yeah. Listen,
Yeah.
Listen, like I said, I don't want somebody up my butt 24/7, but you want to know something? The good thing about living with someone is you always have someone to come home to sleep next to cuddle with. You have your plus one all the time. You have somebody that you hope is your partner and your backbone. And that's, to me, is always a test. It's a test to see if we can withstand one another. If we can live together and things go well, then obviously, kind of what you're getting into. Nobody's perfect. Okay. Nobody's going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect, but that also allows you to see what you can and can't deal with, and what the deal breakers may or may not be that you may not have even known. Because why would you want a surprise when you end up marrying somebody and then all of a sudden there are these deal breakers that are happening and you don't know how to react towards it? So that's why most people, in my opinion, do the whole divorce thing, because they didn't realize what they were getting involved in. And who wants to pay for a freaking divorce? This is another issue why guys and girls don't break up, because they don't want to lose the money. Remember, money is always the root of all evil and of all problems.
Absolutely. It really is. If you have too much money, it's a problem. If you have too little money, it's a problem.
Exactly. You're just never happy.
If it's in the middle, you don't have enough.
For real. When do you ever win?
You don't. You definitely don't.
And now on to one other, subtopic kind of off of this, which we mentioned before. If you date a man who has kids, now we have the two-part question on this. If you date a man who has kids, and let's say his kids are all girls, let's say he has all daughters, does that mean you're never going to be the number one woman in his life? Or we could even turn it to this: kids in general, are they the priority over you?
Saying the other person doesn't have kids.
Right.
Also, you know what I'm saying? Because that makes a difference. I mean, I would be a little scared, because as a woman, your dream is, right, to be the number one, to get married. You want to obviously go into someone who doesn't have kids originally, right? But things happen as you get older. But I don't know. If they had 3 girls, would I be the number one priority? Probably not.
What if they had 1 girl?
Maybe more so, but maybe, I don't know. Because I don't have kids. Or is it like a different love? Because one love is going to be your wife, or, your next future wife or your girlfriend, and a kid is your kid. So is that separate from the love? Because it's a different love. Do you get what I'm saying?
See, I see it as this. I see that no matter what, your children, because I know you and I both don't have them, but a person's children are always their priority, no matter how old they are, whether they're babies, kids, or even young adults. Because at the end of the day, that's still always their baby. Even if they're 30, 40 years old, that's still their baby. So if the child comes to the parent saying they need help, let's say it's financially, let's say it's moral support, whatever, that parent is always going to be there, and not necessarily putting you on the back burner, but you need to understand that a person's child, in my opinion, will always come first. And I'm not saying it as a priority. I'm saying it as that's their rib and that's their heart. That's outside of their body. So at the end of the day, you are just a partner, but you are not the person that also created that child. And even so, the person who did create that child becomes secondary to the child. So you have to also know too, if you have a kid, your kid always becomes priority and secondary to the person you're with.
Yeah.
The person you're with becomes secondary to you.
Yeah. So if I was with someone with kids, I would become second.
Right. However, if the two of you end up having kids together, your kids are going to be your priority, as is to him. But remember, he's now going to become secondary to you. And his kids from the previous marriage are still going to also be priority, because they're going to be equal to the child that you guys have together, because that's his child.
Of course. So the only time it's going to be equal is his kids and my kids, because they're both priority.
They basically, that'll cancel each other out. Because yes, the kids, remember, kids come first. Although here's another thing I did learn. They do say at the end of the day, who should always come first in any relationship? And it should be yourself. You should always come
I agree
first,
with that.
then your kids, and then your spouse. So you should always make sure to put yourself first and do things that can make you happy, because ultimately when you're happy, you're then in turn going to be able to deal with the kids and deal with your spouse. And then everybody's going to be happy.
I agree. Put always yourself before anybody, because without you being happy, everything was going to fall apart.
Yep.
Be happy within yourself first before you fall in love, have kids, start a business. Be happy with yourself.
Absolutely. So I hope we clarified that. If anybody has anything to add to that, feel free to let us know. Because again, we don't have kids, but I'm only speaking upon conversations I've had with my friends who do have kids and how they feel. Like, I have friends that have gone through divorces and we've talked about it. I have friends that are in current marriages.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Does that mean I can never be the queen, the number one, if I'm with someone that has kids, that has daughters?
Okay, here's the thing. You will,
because I want to be number one in my.
You will be number one, but you won't be the priority.
Okay.
If that's clarifies, you'll be their number one because you'll be their focus. But kids will always, no matter what, they always come first before the partner. And even with their previous relationship, the kids will always come first over the spouse. That's just how it is. So don't think that you're the only one in that boat. The other person is too, technically. They're not number one either. Now it's time for our bonus segment, because Halloween is just a few days away. So we need to do a Halloween related topic. And you came across this amazing story. Everyone grew up watching Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy Krueger. Let's be honest.
Can I just add that this was actually my favorite of all time? Everyone either had Jason, Halloween. Freddy Krueger was my favorite, by the way.
Me too. It was my favorite so much that I had the Freddy Krueger mask, hat, glove, and sweater, and I dressed up as Freddy Krueger, and I loved it. And I loved all the movies. But if you've watched the movies, then you know the house. That house is in LA and it's for sale right now. It's got 3 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. It's going for $3.2 million, and all offers are due on Halloween, which means if you have that type of money to drop right now, you could spend Halloween in Freddy Krueger's house. How cool would that be? Would you live there or would you not?
Well, I saw the house and I definitely would not buy for $3.2 million. It has only 3 bedrooms. So I love Freddy Krueger. I don't like it. I don't like him that much.
And remember, that's only where the movie was shot. It's not like he lived there.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like a, it's a memorabilia.
It's a nostalgic type of thing. You could say like this is like almost like on Long Island, the Amityville Horror House. The people that live there had nothing to do with the movie.
Yes, but would I spend 3.2? No, I would definitely probably buy a couple a couple of investment properties for that kind of money. So sorry, Freddie.
Listen, unless my name was Elon Musk and I had $3.2 million
Just to
cost, yeah, maybe I would do it. And maybe I'd dress up as like Freddy Krueger and run around. And maybe I would even dress up like him on Halloween to give out candy to kids, because I think that would be pretty cool. But that's only if I had an extra 3.2 laying around, because it was just, extra pennies. It was my pennies. Unfortunately, I'm not in that position. So I'll pass on the house, but kudos to whoever buys it. If they want to invite us, I mean, we know how to throw a good party.
Exactly. Hostess with the mostest.
Absolutely. And listen, I'm probably sure if I go to my mom's house, I could dig around and maybe even find the
your
hands.
Freddie Astra.
I gotta make my face all weird and look all gross.
Wait, before do you have any plans for Halloween?
Well, I'm going to be with you.
No, we're going to be actually doing a very special guest appearance on a friend's home, which they have very big event parties when it's holidays. So it's around the Brookville area. So whoever, is friends with us will get the memo. But yes, we'll be there. We'll be there Saturday.
I'm excited because I'll tell you, the last time I was at this house party, it was bananas. They know how to throw a party and they know how to do it right. So I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be good. Still not sure what I'm going to wear. We'll figure it out as we get closer, although it's only in a few days. But I'm sure, you know what it is? We always find a way to pull it together.
Always.
Also, we just want to remind everybody that we would love to get your listener questions. So hit us up in the DMs and we'll try to feature it on an upcoming show. Doesn't matter how bad you want it to be or how good you want it to be. Maybe you need some advice, or maybe it's sex related, or it's something that you don't want to talk about with your friends. We'll gladly bring it up. We'll keep you anonymous and we'll talk about it on here. And of course, sponsors too. Sponsors can always DM us if they want to sponsor the show. And we actually love all of the responses that we've been getting from you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us and showing us love. And the way that you could definitely show us love is to share our show on your Instagram, stories, let people know, spread the word, tag people below to let them know to check out the show if you like what you heard and saw. And listen, word spreads like wildfire. So, and
also we are finally coming with our YouTube page. So stay tuned to that. So we're very excited about that. We've gotten so much response for the show and we're trying to keep up as much as possible right now, so also with our daily work lives. So that is a new thing that's coming.
Yeah. So for everybody that doesn't have Instagram, if they want to check out the show, they'll be able to check it out on YouTube very soon. We'll keep you posted on when that goes up. Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram page at This Is The Ace. Also our personal pages. You can find me at Astra on the Air.
And Cynthia 521.
And until next time,
never settle
and know your worth.
Ciao. Love you guys.